Welcome to Morning Musings, where we are listening for a message from the universe about going for our big dreams. And by going for our big dreams, I mean living your authentic life, living the life you were meant to live, uh, doing the things that you want to do, not what other people tell you should do, not, the things that light you up, the things that make you go, oh, I want to wake up today. Yay! Right? uh, and so that's the message, we're listening for a message of that path. Um, and we're realizing Alana Fairchild's Sacred Rebels Oracle card deck as the conduit for that message. So, what do we need to hear today? What what message do we need to carry with us throughout the day in order to move further along, in order to make the right decisions, in order to create the world that we want to live in? Uh, and it starts with us. And um, I was speaking with client of mine the other day, and there was this connection with her, with all of the ancestors. She's carrying all this story from years and years and, ages and, you know, thousands of years of ancestral strife that has been passed down and passed and passed down. And there was this thought that popped into my head is that true for you today? Is that strife? Is that angst? Is that trial, tribulation? Is that true for you today? Is that going on in your world today? And she stepped back and she said, no, it's not. You know, it's actually kind of nice where I am right now. So you can take that off. You don't need to continue to relive into someone else's past trauma. Uh, And I just thought that was a very interesting that popped up because, I've worked on ancestral as well. What's my story and what's their story? And I don't need to take on their story. I don't need to do that. Um, and it's kind of hard when it's become an identity, when we do this, or our family is that way, or this way, or whatever way. So when it becomes an identity, it becomes hard to shed. But I offer to you to take a look at that. Are you claiming an identity that's not yours, that was never meant for you? Oh, interesting. Can you start to shed them? Think differently. Anyway, that's just thought going through my brain this morning. So I'm shuffling the cards. I like to have the cards come up at least 3 times on the top. Um, and as I'm waiting for that, I got close a couple of times, but then, didn't happen, so it wasn't the card for me. Um, yeah, I'd like to get in touch with the energies around us. So let's close our eyes, take some deep breaths. And Put your feet on the floor and open up the soles of your feet to connect with and draw in energy of the earth. Pulling that passion, that fire, that creative desire, the foundation, the nurturing, the nourishment, pulling that up into your feet, into your ankles, into your legs, into your knees, your thighs, your hips, your spine, up your back, radiating out from your spine to your ribs and your shoulders, down your arms. Wiggle and move as it fills up those knotted places, those tense places, helping to burn out some of the stiffness. Let it get loose up your neck, into your head. That fine passion running around in there. Open the top of your head. Oh, ah, and connect with the universe and allow that universal energy to come down into your mind, behind your eyes, allowing your vision to become crystal clear, bringing the big picture knowledge down into you and your spirit, connecting with that fiery passion so that you can see the vision, you can see your pathway. It's illuminated ahead of you. And this universal energy can help you see, bringing that energy down into between your ears, allowing you to hear the messages that you need to hear, and everything else becomes white noise. Bringing that energy down into your throat so that you can speak your truth with clarity, compassion, conviction. Allow that to come down into your into that sacred space where your divine spark lives, where that shining star within can grow bigger, shine brighter, reconnect with that universe, blinding through the boundaries that have been set around it, connecting with that creative spark, and mixing together to create this human experience on this plane of existence we call Earth. Enjoying it, enjoying the vision, enjoying the step forward, knowing that this is your, not someone else's. This is your choice. Removing all ancestral ties, allowing you to move forward as you create the journey and adventure of your own life. Our card today is faith in the process. Faith in the process. No matter how powerful we are, how much courage and strength we have, there are times when we can't quite move ourselves along to the next phase of life or creative exploration. At such times, we need some divine intervention, a little help in pulling our trolley along, so to speak. When we are at the edge of our own limits and have no more personal resources, we might be left with only one spiritual power, that of faith. Fortunately, that is enough. As unlikely as it may seem, the invisible help from the universe is often more powerful than the physical efforts of 1,000 men. That is because the invisible help is not limited by physical laws. It can shift, bend, and move in ways that defy limitation. It can affect, evoke, and influence situations through invisible but undeniably persuasive means. You are in a situation where you cannot set right the course of events all by yourself. This is not an indication that you have done something wrong, nor does this suggest that you are not strong enough. It is a sign that there is something bigger unfolding in your life, and your willpower will be supplemented by the power of life itself. Sometimes a bigger plan needs to manifest for the benefit of humanity and the earth. You need to shift your perspective to realize that you are part of the greater unfoldment of life, that your individual life serves the greater plan, and that you are not separate from its genius. This is what is happening now. You happen to be instrumental to the greater plan, and as such, you need to accept your position and be moved, while also being empowered and protected as you make personal progress through your role in that grander scheme. This is a time for humility and trust. You need complete faith in the process and events that are happening. There is nothing to worry about. You will be moved most fully and easily, and with the most grace and assistance, through your faithful surrender. Ironically, it is through complete surrender in total faith that we become the most empowered. When we are no longer trying to impede the perfection of the greater plan, we can be aligned with and moved by the process. Having faith in the benevolence of life, rather than harboring the suspicion that life is seeking to catch us out, have a joke at our expense, or carelessly toss about us about as though in nothing, then we can relax a little. Having faith in the process gives you space to be curious about what is taking place and to relax enough to be open to what we are most in need of, even if we aren't exactly sure what that is or how it can happen. The guidance from this oracle comes direct from the greater source of life itself. There is now an opportunity for you to be moved from the situation you are currently in to the next chapter in your life story. You can't do it on your own. It's too big a shift. It needs the grace of life to intervene on your behalf. You will need faith, though. You may feel as though the wheels of your trolley are coming off or that they are a bit rickety, but you must also understand that the voice of life is now coming straight to your heart with this message. I have resources you know not of. It is safe to trust in my ways and in my wisdom, for I love you and I am guiding you into all that is rightfully yours. Know that what is rightfully yours is what you truly desire, and you need not fear loss. Nothing that is meant to come to you will be denied, and it is safe for you to let and allow me to move you. Through faith, peace is restored, and you are able to know this, and perhaps have some fun in the process. I don't know where that little voice came from, but there it was. Faith in the process. The universe is conspiring with you, not against you. It's doing things for you, not to you. Allow it. Allow it to happen. Allow the flow to go. And the more you do that, the easier it becomes. The run more smoothly. There's not so many kind of stuff, right? Trust in the process. So let's do the healing process that she's got written here. So kind of reconnecting with that energy, earth and the big and the universal energy. Breathe. Remember, yawning is good. All those things are releasing, releasing. And say aloud, I now ask that all disappointing experiences of the past that have led me to believe that life is not trustworthy or that faith is a silly, immature way to deal with life be released from my mind, body, and heart. I ask for help to accept that I can and will attract all that is needed into my life at the perfect time and in the perfect way. I ask to be empowered to absolutely receive all that can assist me with gratitude and without shame or guilt. In doing so, I dedicate myself to be a clear, loving, open channel for the flow of life. I know the benefit in doing so is not limited to me, but will flow so that life can benefit others through me. I trust in this now through unconditional love. So be it. You have completed your healing process. If needed, repeat the above each day to help you boost your confidence that everything can and will sort itself out, whether you feel in control or not. In fact, it can do so more easily when you don't feel in control. Trust the process, faith in the process. What just popped into my mind was another client of mine who has been dealing with some um, custody stuff around her, or some legal stuff around her stepchildren, and um, it's not been pretty. Uh, but there was a moment in the process where um, he and her husband were doing all that they could. They did. They got all their things done. Everything that they could do, they got done. And they had to wait because they were done. They did everything they had to do. And now it was in somebody else's hands. Somebody else needed to do something, hand it back to them, and then they could do more. But they couldn't force that somebody else to do what they needed to do, right? It was their process and paperwork process, whatever, and it was taking time and da, 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 da. And so they had to sit and trust and have faith that the process was working. If you have done everything on your side, that she said, when the ball is in my court, I'm going to do what I need to do. But the ball isn't in my court anymore. I can't touch the ball. I can't see the ball. I can't do anything with the ball. It's over there on that side of the court. And I can just stand here and wait for the ball to come back to my court. As I see it coming back, where do I need to be? What do I need to do? Where's if we're doing a tennis thing, where do I need to have my racket to smack the ball back? What do I need to do to put the ball back over there until the game is finished, till it's complete? And by doing that, the stress level diminished. Don't get me wrong, it was stressful. There's a lot of stress, but it diminished. And they were able to stay sane through the process. And by not stirring up a whole bunch of commotion, it turned out really well for them. The results of that process were favorable to everyone involved. So trust the process, right? Trust in the process. Have faith that the universe is conspiring with you to make everything work for everyone involved. And sometimes that means just hanging out. You've dotted all your I's, you've crossed all your T's, and now it's time. to sit. Maybe go do something else. But it's not to work on that thing. Because you've done everything for that thing. And allow the universe, allow the process to continue on. And when it comes back to you, do what you need to do and put it back out there and trust. Have faith. It's amazing what can happen when you're not in there stirring the pot. And that just made me remind me of a restaurant that I used to go to. I don't know if it's still there or not, but and they made minestrone soup. It was so good. And they made it on Sunday. And it made a huge, huge pot. Like the soup was there for the week. And so the best time to go get their minestrone soup was on Thursday. Because that's when it had all been sitting. And they came in and they stirred it up. But it had been sitting and doing its own work, getting the juices and the flavors together. Sometimes sitting is the best thing. Trusting that as it melds together, you get this great soup, this great nourishment, this great energy to move you forward. Have faith in this. Namaste. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. And if you've been enjoying these morning musings, please hit the like and subscribe button and the bell that will notify you when I go live or drop any new content on this channel. Yeah, and go out there. Do the action you need to do. And when there's nothing else to do, have faith. The ball is now in other people's courts. And it's time for you to play a little, maybe. Enjoy a little. Have faith that things are working for you, for your path forward. With that, keep your eyes on the horse and your hands on the wheel, and you'll stop. Oh, yes, baby. Let's do this, and I'll see you tomorrow.